Buddy, welcome to Dope or Nope. It is
What's
Friday.
up?
It's a little bit after 3. It's a little bit after 3 a.m. there in Perth, where Mr. Lauren Padman is.
Yeah, I was about to say, you'll find it's actually 3 a.m. on Saturday. Cool.
That is amazing. That is really sick that you're...
Yeah, isn't that wild for you, like, especially? Like, you'd have to dive straight through the core of the earth from where you are there, Hess, to be able to meet me where I am, literally opposite side. 12 hours.
I feel like that sometimes.
So
is Nick... here comes Mr. Fry.
Oh, watch out.
Oh, there we go.
That's cool. Nice.
Hey.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
What's up, man?
Hear me all right?
Yeah,
good?
a little slap back on. Getting slap back.
You're getting slapped back?
Anyway,
I'm not
let's
kidding.
play with the slap back.
Yeah, it's like
Are
an
you
echo.
I'm not hearing it.
It started when you came on.
Yeah.
Oh, great. How wonderful.
It's
Are you using
maybe try me.
get rid of loopback?
Anyway,
Yeah.
Landis.
There you go.
Here we
What's up,
go.
man?
Landis
Good.
joining us today, everybody.
Yeah, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. Hype for this.
Yeah, man.
Whereabouts are you now? You're at. You look like you're in a studio, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm in Fort Lauderdale. I'm at Wired Sound Academy, which is a music production DJ school that I help run down here. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
How long have you been running that?
So 3 years, so 2019 we just started. Yeah.
Well, that was good timing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we went online for a little bit, and then now we're back to in-person classes and stuff.
That's awesome.
So that's cool.
That's great, man.
awesome.
I like the idea of you giving back too. That's cool.
Yeah, it's been really cool. Yeah, South Florida has such potential for like the music community here and the DJ community.
Yeah.
Just needs to be kind of
Yeah.
brought together a bit.
Yeah.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of DJs everywhere sometimes. And, having someone, in your stature that can provide them with opportunity, with some learnings, with, a lot of those kind of things. Like, back in the day, I'm going to go back to like pre-1200s, which I started on an 1100. You remember that, the belt drive where you had to like tap the time, you had to set the time. There was no slide. You had to like move it like this. It was like a little button where you can make it faster or slower. Did you ever see an 1100?
Oh, you're talking. Oh wait, you're not talking about the Technics 1200 with a slide.
Right. So no, the one before it, which was the 1100.
Yeah. No, I never saw it.
Yeah. In fact, the first
that's wild.
person I saw DJ in Denver, they had a, I forget what the name of the turntable was, but it was from a radio station, right? And it was direct drive, and it had no speed control. So, and this is like in the disco era, if you will.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they would like hold the plate. They had a wood piece, and you had to like hold the plate and then turn the dial like as you approach there was no like long overlays at that point. Like there was just like once you met it, you let the other one go.
Yeah, wild.
So
That
yeah,
seems
harkening back
difficult.
a little bit, but yeah, you didn't have any help then. You didn't have anyone teaching you shit, and a lot of the DJs back then were like, "Get out of my booth."
Yeah.
And you can't see what I'm playing, right? They would have white label, or they have labels and they
Oh,
put white labels over them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They're like,
Yeah.
bro, like share.
That's wild. Yeah,
So
yeah. So
douchey.
my mentor said that he had to do things like that, but he said that was the only way that he could have any exclusivity on a record was to be able to have like a white label that he would place across the top, and it would sit over the top of the spindle, and then it would cover the rest of the label. But he would have fun with it, you
Right.
see. So he found like old 7-inches and things like that, or records that he didn't care for, and actually cut around them and drop it over. So people would actually think it's a legitimate record.
Think
They're
it was
like,
that
Oh
record?
my God.
Madonna Like a Virgin. What? This is not Madonna Like a Just like funny, dumb shit like that. It's so classic. Rest
Exactly.
in peace, Gary James. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good days and
Yeah.
wild at times to try to be mixing non-electronic music, which wasn't syncopated perfectly by a computer the way it is now. Was like a live drummer live drummers are slightly in, slightly out, keep moving around a little bit. And he would always say that anytime you were trying to DJ 60s records or 70s records, he goes, yeah, it's like wrestling live drummers to try to make to try to get it in time. And I remember I've tried hits or something like that.
I've tried to remix a couple like older records, and it's such a challenge to try and warp it to get everything on time.
Yeah, you have to warp every beat the whole way through.
Like, I mean, I'll try and just like cut a 15-second loop or something of it. And, just use that so it saves me 3 hours of work. But
but even the 15-second loop, you have to like move it and move it and move it and move it. I remember, what was it? The first time I learned how to use Ableton was with Billie Jean, because that opening beats of which sounds pretty straight, normal, whatever, right? But it's not. Having Billie Jean as an intro and trying to cut that up until the vocal, I mean, it takes you like an hour to get everything in line. Respect to the DJs before us, right? Who had a much harder time.
100%.
I think I'm working
100%.
now. Is this better?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Last little turntable story. So
Yeah, please.
there was a guy named Tony Humphreys. You may have heard of him. He used to play at Zanzibar in Newark, New Jersey, and he played on Thorns. Do you remember those turntables?
I do.
They were belt driven.
Yeah.
And
which is horrible.
Like, the
Like a
slightest
rubber
touch,
band, basically.
the slightest touch would slow it down or speed it up or whatever you were trying to do.
Yeah.
And he was like, amazing. You never heard record coming in, going out. Like, it was impossible. And he would do it with like, disco era records too. But he had such the slightness of touch on it. Just so much stuff. It just reminded me when you were talking about like an Academy, all the stuff that went through my head that we had to go through at the beginning,
Yeah, we got it easy now.
Listen, I'm curious because George and I have got our stories of what we experienced, what we saw other people dealing with and whatever, and we obviously are going to be slightly, I don't know, we're going to be like looking at it and going, it was way harder. But you tell me, like, what is the challenge for a new DJ that you're teaching? What are they finding really hard or, super challenging for them?
I think like the mixing has become a lot easier because everything is so, on time. It's mainly just crowd reading, things like that. That's the kind of stuff that takes time. That's the stuff we're trying to get into is like reading the crowd and making sure you're playing the right vibe for the right crowd, and
So can I ask you another question then? Would you say that how does crowd reading come into a DJ set if most new DJs especially, or DJs who aren't super confident with their music, that they already turn up to the set with it already pre-planned and they've already got it set and they're ready to roll, and it doesn't matter whether the crowd are into it, not into it, they're just going to power through their 50 records in the exact order that they've already set up?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't, right? So we try and explain to students that you got to research the venue, research if you're on a support act, research the artist you're opening for before you go in, just to make sure you have those backup sets prepared. Like, it's great to have your dream set, the tracks that you want to play, the tracks that you feel like everyone would love, but always have like that backup set ready to go, just in case, you want to make sure everyone's happy and having a good time.
Sure.
Even me as a artist, sometimes I'll play a little bit more open format if I could tell the crowd isn't responding as well, just to make it a great night.
Gotcha. Cool. That's
Wow.
helpful. Do you want to quickly just tell everybody about yourself super fast, your journey, real quick?
And also, this song playing in the background was released yesterday.
Hot.
So this
Thank you.
is
Right, Jan.
Landis with "Don't Wanna Fall" on
Great jam,
Hexagon.
man.
But
Congratulations.
you take it from there, sir.
Yeah. So my name is Landis. I've been a DJ producer for a little over 10 years now. I started my production journey, probably 2011. started making music. I went to Dubspot, another production school, which I'm not sure if they're around anymore. Started signing some remixes with, I think CR2 was the first one that signed a remix of
It's
mine.
a good place to start.
Yeah. No, it was cool. They heard me from some bootleg remixes, and that's how they discovered me. From there, released on, I think it was Juicy Music was my first original record release, Robbie Rivera's label. And
Also
just-
nice.
Yeah.
These are all like,
it
not
was
awful
really
places
good starting
to start.
point. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So and from there, just kind of released on other labels. I think I released on Armada, Dimmock, Spinnin', and tested out a couple different sounds. I went really deep into the Melbourne bounce sound for a little while. And
Yeah.
that died off rather quickly, so had to kind of change the sound I was going for in about 2016, 2017 to a bit more feel-good house music. And so then I've been doing that for a couple years. In 2019, I signed some records on Hexagon that did very well. And from there, I started up my record label with Hexagon called Fresh Squeeze. And that's where we're at now. Yeah.
Nice. That's fantastic.
That's
what
a great story. Nice journey.
Do you remember where we met?
I want to say in person, or no, yeah, I want to say in person was Miami Music Week 2015, maybe something like that.
Yeah, around there. Yeah, exactly. Forever ago. And I was like, all the potential in the world for young buck about to kill it. And it was exciting to sort of, see you get going. And I always remember your positive attitude. And that's the thing that people won't remember the words that were said, but they'll remember the feeling that they had after you meet. Man. So what the feeling that you left me with was a guy who was really positive, and you had really good body language and good eye contact and great music ear, and you were open and willing to hang out and listen to records or play me songs and things like that. And I always thought to myself, this guy's got the thing. This guy's got the thing.
I appreciate that, man.
Well, he's still here, so you made it through the
still in it.
7 years? That's pretty good. That is really good. So just a
congratulations.
quick shout out to everyone. This is Lauren Padman, Vice President of Dimmock Records. Landis, you just met. Nick from the Disco Fries, who's working on his
Is this
voice.
working?
Whoa!
Yes, sir.
There you go. Yeah.
There it is.
No slapback, right?
Nice
None
slap back.
whatsoever.
Sweet.
Thank God.
And
Imagine that. You
I
sound
am
like you're a vocal engineer or something.
Yeah, exactly. And
Well
I'm
done.
George Hess. I do a lot of the marketing and promotion for Armada Music here in the U.S. and, just some other things. Been around a minute. Thanks for everyone for joining us. Normally, we do like 30 minutes of music that just came out and then 30 minutes of demos. But we have been a little bit behind on the demo situation, so we're just
We're
going to
getting
bang
so many good
through.
demos, and then
What's
we
that?
have lots of good conversation. We have so many good demos and good conversation, and the suggestion came up last week, which is an excellent suggestion, of like, let's not this week play every single record that we love for the first half an hour, and instead we'll talk and we'll go through demos, and we'll try to just make it like a demo show for a little bit. See how that goes.
And try to
that.
get caught up. I think that's
Sure.
really the thing,
Yeah.
because we are deep in that list right now.
And also not get flagged on Instagram because
that's a big help
nothing's
also.
out.
Oh, that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, nothing's out. Right.
But
So,
now that my mic is working really quick,
Yes, sir.
Landis
Yeah.
did an amazing record on our label years ago. It was called Trumped, and it had nothing to
Oh
do with
my
Donald
God,
Trump.
yeah.
It just had a trumpet through the whole record. It was really
yeah.
dope.
That's cool.
And it was one of his early releases. So known this guy a long time, and he's just a good.
An all-round good dude. I agree.
Can we finish that
Thank you,
sentence?
man.
Because
I
we
lost-
lost you, Nick.
I lost Nick.
No.
Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah, send in that compliment one more time.
We're gonna keep it going though. Just a
Yeah,
quick
let's
shout
go.
out to a couple guys. Bad Monkey. Where was that comment from Mike Cruz that I just saw? Oh, when you were saying like, playing music so that you kind of keep the crowd moving along. He said ABBA is
Yeah.
always acceptable. I might
Yes.
argue that.
No, it's,
No,
he's
yeah,
right.
maybe. Depends
He's
on the
right.
place. Boy with a bag, Friday vibes. What's up, brother? So I guess we should just get started with the demo, shall we?
Yeah.
While Nick is working out his situation there. Shall we do that?
Check 1 2.
Oh,
Yeah,
there it is.
I don't know. It's I don't think it's a Peter just in the background. Sorry, Lauren. I know you hate this, but I gotta
Yeah.
tell him. I don't think it's
Yeah.
a loop.
I can't hear Nick still for some reason.
You
can
can't
hear Nick?
really. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so it might
funny.
be a
I
reach
can
a
hear
reach glitch issue. Just a heads up,
you.
Peter.
Uh-oh.
I could try and read the lips a little bit, but
There you go.
I don't know.
It's all right.
All right,
I can
so-
hear Nick, so I'll translate for you.
Yeah, that's the
There
weird
you
where
go.
we're getting like I can hear Nick, you can hear Nick, he can't hear Nick. Right.
Just
So
a
let's get
refresh.
started.
Let's
We're
go.
gonna go with Jake Shore Drive. Did we play this last time? And
Ooh, that
Mike
sounds
and
really
me.
familiar.
Let's go rock your hips. I know Jake Shore is always. I feel like I've seen this picture before.
Yeah.
Let me move to the next one. That's part of the
Well,
problem is like when we got that deep, I didn't see like.
Then mark off where we finished.
No.
Yeah, damn. I guess I should have
Yeah.
marked, which is the last track that I signed. Sorry.
Yeah, Landis,
should've
by the
made
way,
some mention.
when we play these
Apologies.
demos, he's constantly like, I can see him marking on the side here, and usually he's like, I'll
Little
take that one,
signings.
and I'll take that one.
Yeah, why not?
All right, why don't we
Shout
start
out
with,
Landis and Luciana for a really great record called Nang
Nang
Nang.
Nang.
that I loved
Oh, yeah.
out on Dim Mac years ago. So, yes. We've all had a go, it feels like, mate. We've all had a
Right,
go.
exactly. So let me see if I can. I'm
Play something.
bumping into a lot of remixes here. Oh, that one was not on anymore. Albert Breaker, did we play this one last week? Let's see.
Play something.
I will. Here we go. Don't change my mind, Albert Breaker.
All right, hit it.
We did do this one.
I like it.
Listen to that for a second. I'll grab the next one.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. This reminds me of DJing in the final, where the trumpet you couldn't speed the record up or slow it down because you hear it.
Did you sign this one last week?
Yeah. Trying still, probably.
I contacted him.
That's right.
I signed something wrong for him a couple weeks ago.
All right.
Me.
Wow.
All right.
Thank you,
Good record.
Safari.
I like
that one.
Safari
Producer.
is
I can
brutal
imagine
right
that
now.
doing well with you, Nick. It's a good record. Good,
Yeah,
straight,
that-
clean house.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Can.
All right, sweet.
I can.
No, there was just a few tweaks we had suggested, such as dialing back the horn so you miss
Yeah.
it. So when it comes back,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
like, "That's the horn I love."
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, true.
I signed something from Albert actually a few weeks ago on Fresh Squeeze. He's a super talented producer.
Really
Oh, that's
good.
awesome. Sorry, I apologize. We're having some
It's one of those
Safari
weeks,
issues.
guys.
Yeah, man. All right, let's do this. This is Noish with Symphony.
Yep. just
So what do you guys
pump
think?
this a little bit more, just for a second? I just want to see where
Yeah.
this one
Dope.
goes.
But I feel like the something on the low end on the drop sounds like the
Yeah.
kick might not have that low end punch to it.
Yeah, let's have a check. Yeah, okay. Alright, I think I heard enough. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, what else have you got, Linus? What other thoughts do you have there, mate? Before I jump
The bass line being the focus is cool, but I feel like I missed so much of the
Yeah.
other stuff that's going on.
Yeah. To me, it's like, hey, have you heard that new song? You know, the one that goes like, I have no idea. There's no hook. There's no way of sharing that song, like using your voice. You can't say,
Da,
hey,
da,
you
da,
know
da,
that song.
da, da.
I mean,
Yeah,
the melody
sure.
a little bit,
Good
right?
Maybe.
Yes, but if you
Yeah,
put a vocal
for
behind
me,
it
that
and
kick
made
drum.
it memorable, yeah, it's not shareable yet. It's close. It's a nice thing, but you're kind of listening to it going, it's really nice. It feels clean and tight. The bass line feels good everywhere else, but it's not quite finished yet, and it just sort of feels like there's parts of it that drag a little bit. So it's a great opportunity to shorten it slightly and you know, and I don't know, maybe have some kind of extra little features that make it a little bit more interesting. I don't know. But
So
I like
Dromer Music said the hum test is huge. So basically being able to hum back
Yep.
the melody, that's huge.
Yep.
A memorable line or lyric is huge.
Yep.
Kirk
Yeah.
also asked, would you recommend a new kick sample altogether? I don't think so. I thought the kick was punchy and fine. It
Kick
was,
sounded okay.
yeah, I think it was all these other things that we're talking about that need to get addressed first. And then you can get into the weeds of some of that stuff. We were just talking about that on Finish My Track too, where it's
What's
better
that?
to just plow through the idea and make sure the song is strong and the basics are all there before you get into like, I need to tighten up this quantization. I need to get the kick to be punchier and all that.
Yeah, listen, Nick, you and I talk about this offline a lot about the idea of the show where I just tend to be sort of like the guy giving everyone shit for their records, and it's not. It's not at all. I listen to a record like that, and I'm trying to be the devil's advocate, saying all the reasons why it couldn't work until there's no more reasons left, and then it's only gonna work. There's nothing else it can do except for work. So
I love that though. That's why we
record.
love you.
Thank you, sir. But a record like that, to me, I should have potentially started by saying, I really like it. It feels good. It feels like it's kind of fun and interesting. And there's something about that melody. Da 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 da. I think I missed a couple of notes in there, but I like the scales of it, where it sort of like feels like it's scaling up and scaling down. It's really nice, but it's not yet finished, and it's got a lot of potential. That record has potential. And you know, this is what we try to do, is to offer the potential, right?
There you
Bring it
go.
up.
AJ Funk
Exactly.
said, I get bogged down in the details all the time when I should just be
Sure.
building the structure. That
Yeah.
speaks to
Yeah.
everything we just said. That's a lot of people do. We did in the beginning
Yes.
too.
Yeah, just plow through it, get something out, like, you know, do what you've done now, get something to an idea, and then play it to other people like us who are hearing it for the first time, and then we'll say, oh, why don't you put a pluck melody or a bell, like the old Madonna in the 80s used to put like a triangle bell sort of sound behind the vocal melody. So if it was Holiday, there'd be like this little bell going ding, 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 and it'd sit behind the vocal all the time. And that same idea works even to today. It just needs to be less cheesy. It needs to be like a cooler sound or a pluck or something. So
would you
in
guys
this instance,
say-
you've already got a cool sound. Why don't you put a vocal over it or something?
Right. So would you guys say, is it easier then, or is it smart to like do a rough, don't get lost in the minutia right away, unless the like idea is just like flying out of your head, step back.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Yeah, I like to
off.
just try and get like 80% done, which usually happens in like the first week, and then like I worry about the last 20% for 2 months after that.
Right.
But
Right.
usually the 80% is done like in that first week, and at least for me.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Soul Sounds said,
Yep.
well, I'm going to sum up. You've heard of Savage Garden. Soul Sounds said, have you heard of Savage Lorne?
Oh God.
What?
Well, I hope it's not.
That's
be
not
that
exactly
bad.
what they said. I just summarized it.
Very good, man.
All right, let's
All
do the
right,
next
moving
demo. This is Pepperjack, and this song is called Nothing.
I know I should take the blame, and if you let me, I'd change it. Could you leave me? Could you love me? Oh, I know I can do better, I know. Believe me, oh, I won't be the one who's ever letting you go. 'Cause there is nothing, nothing holding me back from you. There is nothing, nothing. You all I ever wanted. There is nothing, nothing, nothing more that I want, nothing more that I would have need.
I could listen to this song all day. Thoughts?
Love it.
What's wrong with that
Great
song?
vibe. Yeah. That kind of vibe I feel like is timeless. It doesn't matter if that's released, during the time that Tech House is big or whatever. It's just that kind of sound translates so well. I feel like that would have been relevant 4 years ago, relevant today, and it's just I love that sound.
And the vocal, man. Just really compelling, I think.
Yeah, really
personally.
nice. The vocal melody's great, and it doesn't
Can
feel
you remind?
cheesy at all.
Sorry, Lauren.
What was
I
that?
thought you were... No, I just wanted to see. Can you remind us who this is?
Sure, this is Pepperjack. It's Pepper and JVCK. That's all one word. And this is called Nothing, is the song.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Very
really
well
nice.
produced.
I put a big wow next to it on the sheet in case you guys want to sign it.
All right, let me have a look at this damn sheet.
Our next single is called Nothing. How ironic.
Yeah. Weirdly, collaboration with Pepperjack. Odd.
No, it's not. It's with Harbor, but it's
All
it's,
right.
Maybe there's a remix.
Maybe there's a remix. So this next one is by Soul. I think I'm saying that correctly. SOLH, and this is called Be Together.
It's what I say, baby, don't use me. Come on, baby, make your mind up. Baby, you looking so fine. Don't think, make your mind up, baby. Don't you know everything's gonna be fine? What I need, I need you. It's what I say. Come on, baby.
So that was Soul, and it's called Be Together. By the way,
Yeah.
I don't normally get into the my
That's
role
great.
is really not the production and things like that. But I will say, when this piece kicked in, this that sort of symphony in the background could be
Yeah.
dialed down a little bit. And I
Dialed
don't mean
down,
volume.
sure.
I feel like it's too much. It could be a little less.
Yeah.
What do you think?
And then Nick and Landis will tell you what's wrong with the EQ in that thing.
Landis, go ahead.
Probably.
For
Yeah.
which sound? Are you talking about the main lead sound?
No, the crowdy sort of cut up thing that's a really
Sounds
high
like a-
bright EQ.
A violin.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
sounds like
I-
a bag of cats.
I mean, it's hard to tell because that could be the vibe they're going for that old school kind of sound though. Because it
The
does
Bag
have,
of Cats remix.
It
Exactly.
feels like it was feels like a 70s record, which is cool. I like this for his name is Soul. The producer's name is Soul.
Yeah.
So it's very literal. Like he's producing soul music. So I
Totally.
love that where it's like it fits in perfectly. But yeah, I'd have to listen again to hear that high pitched frequency sound that needs to be cut out.
I just feel like it's there's like a. It's not
I know
only
it
is it
does,
loud and a little bit annoying, and
Turn it up
certainly
now.
to the EQ.
Turn it up real quick.
Yeah, here we go. That thing.
Yeah, there's a lot
It's
going
like a
on
vocal
there.
sample. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's like a vocal sample that's. In fact, there's 2 or 3 things in there, right? There's a vocal
Right.
sample. There's
So it could be
sort of a
like
screechy thing.
less. Do less.
Sure. Yeah. I'll pay that. It's fine.
Yeah,
But
I think the vocal is solid, so maybe just focus on that, the bass line and the drums, and try and cut away some of the other stuff.
Right. Cool. That was Soul Be Together. Up next, Max Evans featuring Varsha. And this is I Won't Tell, the original mix. You're listening to Dope or Nope. Thanks for joining.
Your fingertips, soft on my lips, sparks on my skin. Room full of strangers, whisper my name. I feel so obsessed. Radioing like you're my cigarette. Boy, if you confess, I wouldn't judge you. Maybe we could keep it secret. Don't be afraid to show me the darkest eyes you crave. Don't be ashamed. Lay it so close, they'll never know. Like a keep it secret. I won't tell. I won't tell.
I got
So
something
that's
for this.
Max
Before-
Evans.
Yeah, I got
featuring
something for this
Varsha.
before Nick destroys it.
What's
I
that?
would say, I had an idea. There's 2 vocals that are running. There's a high octave that's being sung, which is the lead, and then there's a
Right.
low one that's being sung behind it to anchor it. And I was thinking, why didn't you switch them? Because if the song was with a lower 1 octave lower, cooler vocal take, and then the high one was like creating a fill behind it to create like a bit of high energy, that could be way more interesting. And I've always learned myself in a studio, if you have a decision as to whether something should go up or down an octave, like where it should sit, if you go down an octave, it's always cooler. It's almost never cooler to go up an octave. It's almost like you have to protect it from being pop if you go up. So
Right.
this part, I'm imagining, especially up to the pre-chorus, I was thinking, oh wait, imagine if it was sung the other way around. It could be cool.
I mean,
And
it
also if
feels
was
like
10
a pop.
BPM faster.
It feels like a pop record to me, honestly. It
Yeah.
feels like they're trying to commit to pop. I feel like it almost has that Latin feel where they should be adding just
Yeah.
more of the dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun. Just kind of commit
Fill
to
it.
commit to that style. if
Just
you're gonna
go all
that
into
way.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
DJ
agree.
Punzo and Levi Walsh, they're saying Major Lazer vibes and DJ
And
Snake
Snake vibes,
and they're
yeah.
absolutely right. Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
gotta commit to
therefore
the
speed it
sound
up
though.
slightly and commit and punch into it more. Yeah, I
But
agree.
go all the way in. A couple quick shout outs. Jackie Gonzalez, GT, Punzo, thanks for stopping by. Who else ran by here really quick? I missed them. Scotty B, what's up, brother? DJ Kirk, thank you all for joining us on Dope or Nope. We have a lot of fun doing this. And by the way, once again, that was Max Evans. I think also, really appreciate everybody jumping in and saying something about the demo, like, put your hand up and vote. Like, I love this. I don't love it. Keep those
helps.
comments coming. That's super helpful on our part. Nick, did you want to say anything about Max Evans before I punch the next
Yeah,
one?
I mean, echoing everybody else's sentiment, I thought it was non-committal. To me, it sounded like a rough demo draft of a vibe they were trying to capture quickly, which is, to our earlier point, awesome if that's what you were trying to do. But if you were really trying to achieve like a finished final product, that wasn't quite there for a bunch of reasons. I also think the vocal performance was a little non-committal.
Right.
Yeah. non-committal on the vocal performance. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Like
Yeah,
it
there's a lot of-
didn't.
lot of
It
good
would
notes
just
there.
like it felt generic. Not that the singer was there. Like she
Sure.
could achieve getting to where it needs to be, I think.
Yes.
But
Right.
it didn't have any real emotion. It was just
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, here's the vocal. I don't know.
Right.
I don't
Right,
really
right.
care what I'm singing.
Right.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, actually. It's a vocal coach that I once met who just went up to the vocalist at the end of the take and just turned to him and said, "I don't believe you. Just don't
That's
just
it.
don't believe you."
There it is.
Well,
And I think
I'm
that's
all-
exactly what you're saying.
I'm always curious if it's like a splice sample or if it's something they actually wrote, because if it's a
Agreed.
splice sample, they have no control, right? But
Right,
if
right,
something they
right,
wrote,
right.
they can get in with them.
Right.
and-
Yeah.
Can you
I mean, ideally you would.
can you change that by surrounding it differently musically? Like I know you can't.
There's
like,
only
it is
so
what
much
it
you
is.
could do. Yeah.
Right.
Like if you're starting out with something that's not great, it's
Right.
not gonna happen usually.
Good point.
Can't polish.
Yeah.
Kind of like
polish
remixing
turd.
a song that's not great. Like
Yeah,
you
it
can't
just
make
doesn't
pigs
work.
fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a
It's been
kinder
tried.
way of saying what I was going to say, which is polishing a turd.
Right,
Polishing
you
a
can't polish
turd. But
Exactly.
as a friend of mine
Hey,
said,
welcome.
you can't polish a turd, but you can
right.
roll it in glitter.
A couple quick welcomes. Remnant's Music, NYC Fit Fam. What's up? Who else? Henry Hacking. Oh, this is awesome. Look at all these cats on here today. Super cool. All right. Next demo. You ready? This is Elport, and it's called Touch the Sky. Kind of feel like we played this.
We did.
Did we?
Yep.
All right. We'll play a little piece because it's good. You guys let us know what you think. Ashley's Tucker, what's up?
Prince Fox is up in here.
No way. Stop saying.
Yeah, I remember my feedback on this one too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We don't even
What
need
was
to get
it?
into it. That to make that grindy synth a little more aggressive, and I referenced the track Babylon by Congo Rock from back in the day.
Great throwback.
Did you write this down, or did you photographic memory, or what's going on here?
No, I just remember that sticking out because that's one of my favorite records, and I remember referencing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it's hard
was
for me
a-
to tell in headphones, but I feel like the low end might need a bit of boosting also.
Right. Also, one of the things we do is 1 minute and 15 seconds. Tough to, some of these songs
That's
are a
lot
little bit
more than
longer.
Most people. It's a lot
Yeah,
more
it's
than
true.
some people do to listen to your record and choose.
Lot more than most people are given. All right, next demo. This is Bank, and this is called Fall for Me. And you're listening to Dope or No.
Yeah, we played this last week.
What was that?
We played this one last week.
Did we?
No.
Yep.
It's nice.
I'm not mad.
No, it's a really nice record.
Play that one again. Wow. And no one signed it since last week? What's up with that? Banks in the house. Thank you for sending that. Yeah, we got a couple loves on that one. Thanks, Punzo. Exactly.
Bank.
And a shout out to Bank. Okay, Alberto is up next. I'm trying to pick the ones that are not really. There's a lot of remixes of like Tiesto thing. We played this too, like Groovin' by Mr. Kai. Did we play that? I feel like that guy's name looks familiar. Let's try it out. This is Mr. Kai, K-U-I, and this is called Groovin'. Getting caught up here. Go fast. Yeah, we did. Right, I remember that sample or that melody line.
It's good. It's good that it's memorable. And
Yeah.
It's bad that we keep playing last week's tracks over and over.
I know.
You know,
Well,
but real
I'm
quick
killing
on that one, I feel like I've heard that sample before. That's an issue that I run
Interesting.
into when I'm listening to demos. Is so many of these splice samples are just getting churned
Sure.
out,
Yeah.
and it just leads to like tracks that could be really great on their own with the production, kind of losing their uniqueness just because of the vocal being reused. So always just kind of listen out for that, producers. If you're using splice, just make sure it's not already in a big song or
Yeah.
something like that, because it'll
That
be a little
happens
bit
a
more
lot with
difficult.
vocal packs, right? On Splice.
Yeah, they just get
It's- Yeah, like especially a particular line, and you go, "Oh yeah, I've heard that line before. It's just being pitched differently or something."
Right.
It's crazy
yeah,
how
it
many,
can work, but-
like Zach Martino, the Hold On To Me record, which did extremely well on BPM, was a splice sample. But around the same time, I heard so many demos that we got for Liftoff
Interesting.
with the
Yeah.
same vocal. But his
Yeah.
his went the distance. But then we had Danny Deal
Might have been the
on.
promoter.
Could have been. Could have been.
Saying.
Watch out for that guy.
But then we had
Slash
Danny
respect
Deal
for that
on
guy.
our podcast, and she was talking
Yeah.
about how the Grammys will kick you out of consideration if they find out it's a splice sample or sample pack.
Let me think about that for a second.
All right.
No, not quite. Because I sit next to Danny on the same committee. I think there's a way of, I think it's got like a 50% rule, basically. It says that if you need to have more than 50% of the
That's right.
song original, and if it's said that the vocal is technically half the record, if it's like full vocal through the whole song, and it's therefore a splice thing, it's already been released, then no, it's effectively, it falls into remix category. But if you're using just a piece of it, and it's therefore less than 50% of the song, then you're fine. But
I mean,
yeah,
right,
some of
but you
these
essentially-
skating line.
But if it's essentially like half of the record, then you're out.
Yep,
right?
you're out. Right.
Right.
Some of these vocals are making producers what they are though. Like John Summit, Deep End, that was a splice vocal, which is wild to me.
Wow.
And that like made
And
it,
Yeah.
the third single from Shane Cott.
Right.
So
Really?
I used that vocal sample in a track like 4 years ago, and it killed me. I'm like, oh, you did it, But so
Yeah.
that means
Could
that it
also
can
been the
still-
promoter.
Yeah.
Again, this freaking promoter, man. This guy's everywhere, honestly.
Fucking guy.
Does he work for
Um,
Splice? I think the promoter
No, he
works
doesn't
for
work
Splice.
No, you're fine.
Sometimes,
you'll find that he
sometimes I
works
feel
for
that way.
Lotto.
Yes. Lauren,
Yeah.
DJ Mike Bond
Yes,
wants
sir.
to know, how can I send you something right now? So we talking pizza,
Lorne-
donuts?
Lorne, yeah, well, you have to find me in Perth, West Australia. It's 3 a.m. I think there's a pizza place that's open that wants to send me pizza. But if you want to send me demos, just lawn@dimmac.com.
There it
See
is.
if you can figure out how to spell my name.
Easy enough.
Figure out how to spell Dimmac, and it's over.
There it is.
yeah.
Next demo. This is ALO, and this is called Drop. And this is called Dope or Nope. I hit the post.
fail for me. Yeah.
A sample of a sample of a sample. What do you guys think?
Nick, you can take this one.
I like that. I'm actually curious to hear a little bit more of it to see where it goes.
Sure. Hold on. I'm gonna bounce it up a little bit. Is that good?
Yeah, so my piece of feedback.
Can't turn it down. Sorry.
Fine, we just talk over it.
Safari just like
Don't
okay.
kill
There
it.
we go.
Safari. Good on you, Safari.
Love the vibe. Love the vibe.
Yes.
Love the bass line. Love the vibe of the vocal. Hate everything the vocal's saying.
Yes. Accurate.
Generic
I mean,
101.
I feel like electro is about to have its day again, so I could hear that sound coming back. I'm hoping. I love electro,
Agreed.
but I feel like we're getting to that point where people might start going for some electro house. So it's got potential for the sound overall, but yeah, I didn't love like the symphony kind of melody. I just felt like that kind of was a different energy.
From a slightly different perspective, the one thing that came to mind was like, it was about 3 minutes and change, and it felt long. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
And
the
even-
arrangement needed a re-edit for sure.
Right. And even though like we only got to like, well, even bouncing around, it got to like 2 minutes. I was looking for the just sort of pieces on there so I could jump forward to it. But that's one thing that always like kills me about some of these songs is like, maybe it's the edit, maybe it was just the more compelling pieces, weren't in the right place, which is, again, back to editing, or maybe it just wasn't compelling pieces. Like it didn't have enough dynamic changes for me.
I would like to
keep
hear
listening.
that record in Ableton and chop it down. I think for the three of us, Hess, sorry to leave you out, but for the three of us, we could throw that record into Ableton very quickly and find the best parts and re-edit it relatively quickly and go, yep, keep it moving, bang, bang, bang. And then we're like, do we have everything? So I listen to it through a similar lens than you do, but I like generally the fact that that there's more in there than there not being anything in there, because otherwise you're going to cut to what? But for me, there are enough good ideas in there to be able to make a nice edit out of, I hope.
That's fair.
But I'd love to hear that song. In fact, if that song can be sent to me by whoever made it, I didn't hear who it was from. Sorry. Could you back
sorry.
me up?
That was Cosmic Skies one. AILO, AILOW.
Oh no way! Yeah,
Yep.
I'm chatting to ALO already about a record.
There you go.
There you go.
George,
Cool.
do you ever
Okay.
have to chop up records, or do you just send like notes on timings if you want something chopped down?
I don't do the chopping. I leave that to the experts. What I listen for are really like points at which, when you think in radio, like you think ADD almost immediately.
Yeah.
And sometimes the UK edits are even shorter. Like they make our 3 minutes sound like an freaking 7-minute version. Like they just go nuts on chopping. But I always tell people like on a regular, like this is your elevator pitch. This is your moment.
Yeah. Right.
You've gotten in the elevator with Albert Einstein, and you're a physics student, and you're just like, tell me, I want to be your assistant, and you have 60 seconds to tell him why. So that's a radio edit, and oftentimes 100% I think it should be done by someone who's not associated with the project. So someone who has the expertise of Henry Hacking 230 exactly, who has the expertise of dragging someone through a whole song. So at no moment does it feel like the energy or the want for the next piece to come. And that a lot of that is editing, and the same with video, right? The same with films. Like you see a 2-hour feature film could have been hour and 20 minutes. And so it's very similar to me, because you're on the air, like the person just goes like this and they're on the next station, and that's what the stations are always concerned about, switching channels. And that's
TSL, my man, TSL.
Yeah. So TSL ratings, by the way, in case anyone was wondering, is TSL, which is time spent listening, times your cume, which is the amount of people that probably listen to the radio station.
Probably,
and that's,
right.
Yeah, probably. So, and that's how ratings are determined still, antiquated system.
I mean, look at where we're at with like TikTok hits, right? You get 15 seconds of a song, and that's what people are judging you as an artist off of, is those 15 seconds. So it's just getting, you got to grab them.
Yeah.
Right, and back in the day it was Vine, and then there was, is this
Loved
why
Vine.
there's, right, Vine was kind of cool.
Awesome.
Actually, Vine helped us out with Selfie at the beginning, right?
That's right. We got
Is
Selfie
this why
going
there
off
are a
the
lot
back
of
Vine.
radio edits without extended mixes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Funny story is we used to get the songs sent in, and they would be like the song for the club, and then we'd make a radio edit of it. But now we make a song that comes in, and it needs to be short, clean, better for streaming and ADD and everything that you just said, George. And then you go, okay, that's the no name version. Let's just call it original mix for the sake of it. But we're not going to mention what it is. We're not going to put parentheses and say original mix or radio edit because it feels antiquated. It's just going to be the version. And then we will make a longer version for clubs, and that will be called the extended mix. That's generally how I've been doing it for like the last, I don't know, maybe 10 years.
Right. Also, my suggestion is when you guys produce a track or a song, because you never know what could actually hit radio. Like, you know, there's some things that won't, period. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff that gets over. Like
Selfie.
Look at a Selfie or a Craze, for instance. Amazing club record.
Sure.
Should that have gone top 20 at pop radio?
Yeah,
Who the
crazy.
hell actually called that one? So
Yeah.
oftentimes the other thing I suggest is that you mix the radio edit, because the club version is designed for a different environment, right? You have your highs, you have your dynamics, you have your drops. That's all part of the journey of being in a club.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily having that journey on radio, right? You're in your car, you're at work.
Not at all.
You're listening. So to go into the studio and mix the radio version as opposed to chopping up a song that was designed for a version that was designed for a different purpose.
Oh, I think I know what you're saying.
Might
you're
also-
saying-
So I have a good story
chops.
about this.
Right.
When we were working on the Tiesto album, we
Name
did
dropper.
Name dropper. Speaking of Savage Garden, we worked on.
Oh,
one
wait,
of
just a
those-
second. Let me just pick that name up. Sorry.
Wow.
Okay, I got that name.
Let
for
me
you.
let me just grab that name real quick.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
When we were working on that album, we did a lot of that, especially with the radio singles. So, like the version you heard of "Wasted" that's on Spotify, which was the final, was the version. It was like the definitive radio Spotify version. But there was an alternate that was meant for his sets that we did,
Always.
Right.
Oh, of
and it was
course,
heavier
yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah,
But
right.
Yeah,
there's a famous video of Kanye talking about "Stronger" when he made "Stronger" with the Daft Punk sample.
Yeah.
He did 12 versions, different versions, tested them at different clubs, tested them at radio, and it wasn't until the 12th or 13th version when he pulled Timberland in to redo his kicks that he settled on the final. But there are 12 versions that actually went to market prior to that final definitive version.
That's wild. I think you always have to just keep in the back of your head as a producer, what is the listener going to focus on? What is grabbing their attention at that point in the song? Usually it's going to be the vocal, but it might be a melody or something like that, and make sure that that's in the forefront as a producer so people can get a clear idea of what the song is trying to portray or what the vocal is saying.
Right.
Yeah, and to that point, I use words that are a little different and more direct, which is, if something is good, bring it to the forward of the mix. Like, put your balls on the line and put a sound that may be in the background that you're not sure about. To your point, Landis, a particular 4-bar or 8-bar section might be a vocal, or it might be a guitar, or it might be a really cool funky bass line, or it might be some melody. And what I try to do is exactly what you said, but just reworded into put your balls on the line and actually like put it forward in the mix. Like, be bold, be brave with that sound.
Right. Well,
Like
shall we
Amen.
shall we see what Cosmic Skies, if he put his things
Yeah.
on the thing, put them on the
go.
glass, if you will.
His things on the thing.
Things on the thing. All right.
All
Hold
right.
on. If I can see if I can start this over, or do I have to refresh the page? I have never disliked
DJ Hess.
Mac
You've never disliked
products
Mac as much as
more
you are now.
than right now.
I think it's because your hard drive's full of demos, and therefore there's no room for your computer to breathe and think. So
It's
therefore-
not full of
basic-
demos. It's full of workout routines.
That's true. and cookbooks and stuff to eat. And it's healthy meal options and
Dude,
Yeah.
I mean, my whole
and
Safari
workout
just-
routines.
all
fair.
the tabs just went black.
Oh, that's fun.
Cookbooks.
That's
He's
fun.
just he goes on like Pirate Bay or torrent sites and downloads PDFs of cookbooks. He's like, I'm not buying this shit. I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
gonna
a
take
no.
up space.
That's a no. Hold on, I'm trying to get
I-
this back here.
I have an idea, Nick, for future shows. I think that we have like a list of topics that we put along the side, and then when George's computer shits itself, then you and I just go, hey,
fire
so
it.
what do you suggest about side chaining? What's the latest on Soul
like that.
Bass? And
I like.
Yeah,
hey,
that's a-
while I'm gonna throw this thing out the window, can you tell me
Uh-huh.
what side chaining actually is?
Oh boy.
I can try, but I think that Nick would do a better job.
I don't know about that. It's hard to articulate it, but I'll try. Do you want
Or
me to
Landis?
try?
Any of you guys?
I
Yeah.
mean, I guess I just view it as advanced, like it's just compression, but you're compressing against a specific sound, right? So it pulls down
Yes.
your sound when that other sound comes in. Usually it's done the kick drum against the kick drum. So every time the kick drum comes in, the sound that's side chaining pulls down, right? But you could do it to other elements. It's really
Trying to
about
give you a
just making
visual
sure they're not-
example.
yeah, clashing.
It's instead of two things just going against each other like this, it's like when this comes up, this goes up. Or
It gets out of
better
the way.
yet, this goes down, this gets out of the way. This goes
I
down,
need
this
to
gets out
screenshot
of
this
the way.
immediately.
Right. So, by the way, like, I don't want to be rude, but like I'm
Yeah.
restarting like browsers and trying to find
That's fine.
my place.
Yeah, that's
So
fine.
Nick is describing that, and without seeing his visual, it was
Yeah.
very odd. Just want to say that.
Oh, okay. Listen, I'll give it a go now. So we're all going to give it a go of trying to define side chaining. So basically, if you keep compressing something, there's no more room left in the mix, and then what happens is everything sounded like when it all came together, there was no room left. So it would die, especially on a kick, because a kick is such a very short, sharp impact in a particular point in the song. And everything else is normally happening on there, like snares and vocals and bass lines. So to be able to, if everything's like hitting all at once, then it's going to sort of like dull and be pulled out and pulled down, so that it doesn't. It's almost like a limiter, more than a compressor. Actually, the more I think about it, it's more like it's a limiting idea. The idea that some outboard equipment would pull it down and get it out of the way. So the word side chaining comes from the fact that it was all outboard racks. There was no such thing as computers, and it was all racks of things. And you'd get a cable, and you'd literally take the cable and run it along the side, and you'd make a different chain, and you would actually send the kick signal into whatever it is that you were trying to get out of the way. But it wouldn't play the kick out to the audience. It would just play the kick into that thing, like a bass or something like that. And so when the bass is getting hit by that invisible signal, let's call it, it would duck and it would get out of the way. So if you do that to all the instruments and duck them all when the kick comes, then just for that split second, everything gets out of the way and the kick smacks and then the kick stops and then everything's back up again. And so everything ducking just in time to make the kick punch through. That's the concept of side chaining, but instead of doing it where there's a kick, you would just do it over a synth or a string or something. So it kind of gives you that effect of it sort of like going in and out, like a kind of thing. So that does that.
Got
That's
it.
the idea.
Got it.
That's
So
a
I
great
totally
explanation.
understand now. That was amazing explanation.
You can listen to the perfect
Okay, I'm done.
track, the perfect dance record. The perfect dance record to listen to where you have the ultimate sidechain is Benny Benassi Satisfaction. That's all
Oh,
you
yeah.
need to listen to, and you'll hear sidechain throughout the
I mean, that's
entire record.
fairly committed to memory. But now that I have these two explanations, I'll go back and listen to it after the
Yeah.
show and say, cable along the side, ducking. I'll see how that works.
Well, that's how it was done, but anyway, whatever.
Right.
Never mind. It's too hard.
Well, now it's now. All right. So this is Cosmic Skies, and this is called Black Hole. And
That was fun.
yeah,
Nope.
exactly. And of course, once again, I've just Safari. I can't turn it up.
Well, we can't DJ
Here
for
we go.
you, I don't think, right?
Here we go. No. Here we go.
All right, hit it.
Maybe.
Hit something. Anything.
I'm hitting.
Maybe download
You
some
know, the other
records
thing
you
is,
have
it
as
doesn't have
backups.
to be a compressor you sidechain to. You could
There you
also
go.
trigger other sounds from a sidechain. Just
Here
a
it
heads
comes.
up.
Yeah. You could
It's a fun
sidechain
fact.
from a bass or something.
Right.
In fact, sidechaining, people sometimes talk about sidechaining a vocal, and it's using the, if I understand this right, Nick, it's using the vocal to push against everything else, so that when the vocal is punching through, everything else is ducking around.
Yeah,
it,
so that's
that
how-
there's room.
We do that. We did that on Downtown Love.
Yes, you did. I remember. Yeah, for La Viella.
Give
Yeah,
it a little
that's it.
space, because you could do it with certain dynamic EQs and stuff. You can do it just in areas of the frequency, areas of the spectrum. So if you just wanted to sidechain, kind of like a multiband, just the mid range or just the highs, wherever the vocal is mainly sitting, you can do that.
Right.
So that's always fun.
Yeah, I
Alright,
think there's a
you're right,
plugin
Nick,
called
compressor.
Track Spacer that does that.
Track Spacer
All right.
does it.
Yeah.
Guys,
Very
while
nice.
I've got this rolling, we're going to go.
Hit it.
Cosmic Skies, Black Hole.
Jeez.
Heard this already. I'm just kidding. Not bad. It's got a lot of nice
cool.
elements to it.
Finally got that one out.
Yeah.
I got a little tired of the vocal chops. It was another one where I wanted to miss them.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Yes. I can
Yeah, I feel
imagine
like-
they'd be really good for just the build, let's say.
It's hard. It's really hard to go from like that light vibe to the hard electro sound like so rapidly. I mean, they did a good job with the build up, but it's just it's a tough thing to nail going from like light and happy to like hard electro.
Yeah, I did want to hear the vocal like do something where it's sent out to reverb and then you pitch up the reverb and a super dynamic build into that harder drop just to get you from one place to the other versus it just being like you were talking about. It's difficult to do that juxtaposition without having something dynamic between it.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah, I liked it. I think there's a lot of nice elements in there. Just again rearranging them, turning them off. To Nick's point, from time
Definitely
to time.
stuff to work with.
Yeah, it
100%.
felt like some pretty tough electro though. I wasn't mad at it.
Just in case anyone's just joining us, this is Lauren Padman on your bottom left, Vice President of Dimmock Records, Landis, he's Landis. You know what I mean?
DJ Landis.
One of our guest artists for today, and Nick from the Disco Fries. And this is Dope or Nope you've been listening to, and we're doing all demos today. This is a regular of ours, and this is Bad Monkey with No Facts, Faxxx.
No facts. Sorry, honey. No facts. Sorry, honey. No facts. Sorry, honey. No facts today. No facts. No facts. No facts. No facts. No facts today. No. No.
That's Bad Monkey
No
with
facts.
No Facts.
So I'm a Bad Monkey fan, but I'm not a big fan of this record. I do like the vocal samples, cool. There's you guys are familiar with Zookeeper. He had a record called House Phone, which this reminds me of a lot in terms of vibe. But I would take the track further in that direction because he did a really good job with House Phone.
Yeah,
And,
I think the bass line is dope and everything. I just think the vocal is a bit overused for what that vocal is. It's not like saying enough. You know, maybe just use it as the one-liner before the drop, and you know.
Yeah, I felt like it was a few sections that I would have normally interrupted and said, "This bit's boring." Next bit, this bit's boring, and this bit's
Right.
boring. So the boring parts, again, not to throw shade, are an opportunity for you to fill it with something a little bit more interesting. Maybe it's small points, small little details that don't get repeated even. So it feels currently, to me, a little bit underproduced because you've got room in the mix to be able to put some cool things. But the bass line was really nice. It's a good start. It's a nice palette, I guess, or yeah, it's a nice base to be able to add some extra little pieces to and make it more interesting.
And there you have it, Bad Monkey. Thanks for dropping that off. Weston and Teston. This is a new one from them called Keep Forgetting with Hey McFly. And this is Dope or Nope.
You telling me about who you hate, both exactly where we wanna be right now. Snapchatting pictures of your face, about to tell you that I'm on the way. That's when I realized that I can't go keep forgetting. Keep forgetting. Keep forgetting. We're not in love anymore. Keep forgetting. Keep forgetting. Keep forgetting.
Wow. I'm going to move it up just a touch. Wow. That's nice,
Yeah, I'm not mad at this at all. This is really nice.
right?
Feels cool.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, it feels really nice.
Does feel really cool. I was actually trying to think of what to suggest to make it even better, and I can't land on what that is. Might just be arrangement things that it could use.
Yeah, I feel like the vocal might be able to come up a little bit in the drops, or I don't know, something like that. Make it a little bit more in front. But I love the echo effect as well. So,
what was this? Sorry, is this Western Intestine you said?
That was Western Intestine. And
Good record.
so what's the next topic we should talk about?
Well, Western Intestine does have a record. Does have a record coming on Liftoff with Todd Stuckey, who's a regular around here.
Absolutely.
And it's in that lane, and it's tremendous, and I'm really excited about it.
Wow.
So.
Those guys always do really, I mean, it's so smooth. That just felt so nice and chill, perfect for a Friday afternoon. I don't know about you guys.
It did. Hey guys, I have a hard out
Saturday
shortly.
Okay.
Just a heads up.
Yeah, thank you for letting us know. We're closing in on not very far from where we were last time. This is
there's literally only, let's see, probably 20, 30 records to go.
Right. So we'll
knock
work
them
it.
out, Nick.
How you looking at 4:30, Nick? Is that good for you?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So this is Faja, and this is Everything I Need.
I love Faja. Speed House.
Speed House, let's hit it.
Can I fall for you? We'll make something new. I got everything I need in you. Can I fall for you? Can you make it too? I got everything I need in you. Needing you, needing you, needing you. Oh yeah, yeah. Yo, DJ, pump this party.
That's my demo of the day. That's
Oh,
my demo of the day, straight up.
all right. Okay.
I'll take that anytime.
Okay.
Really?
I'll tell you this much. We went to
Yep.
Tommy Sunshine's Brooklyn Fire Party in Miami.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Faja played a set of that type of music. By far was
Mm.
the most impactful set of the night.
Yeah. I was about to say, to me, it feels like we used to, I don't know, many years ago now, I guess. Maybe 20 years ago, we would call this record, these records Euro Pony, because it sounds like you're on a horse, and it would only ever come out of Europe. So we would call it Euro Pony records,
Right.
that type of beat. And 20 years later, it's coming back, but with a bit of electro sauce on it. It sounds
I like
really
it.
good. It sounds really energetic. I actually really like it.
it feels good to me. I feel like that shit's gonna do well.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
made a lot of he's put out records on Liftoff that have been more electronic years ago, but he's fallen into this speed house thing and it just embraced it, and he's going for it fully.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about that before. What are you? That guy's all in on that.
Yep.
100%. Also, let's see. Okay, I got the next one. This is Leviticus, Dance 17, no vocal. So I guess we're looking for a vocal on this? Maybe. What do you guys think?
I was imagining if it was the best vocal you could ever hear. Imagine it being a really big diva vocal, or female or a big massive main room male vocal John Martin style.
John
and I was
Martin,
like,
yep, that's what I was gonna say.
I was like, I don't know if the underneath the record is compelling enough.
Right.
I think
Yeah,
it's
like-
just a very basic, very, very basic bed that's not bad and it's not horrible in any way. It's just you'd need the big vocal and then you'd probably write something off whatever they did as a melody. Whatever vocal melody they did, you'd almost try to get behind that and match it almost.
I mean,
What
it seems
sound
like a
would
rough
you guys
sketch,
classify?
right?
What sound is this? Like trance or like a? That's the thing for me. I can't really place what sound this is, and
Well, it's using deep house.
Definitely.
The space between the hats makes it slightly tech. The bass line and the pads make it progressive house. So it's not really sitting anywhere, Landis. It's not trying to be
Right.
a particular
and
genre.
I
which
feel
is
like
not bad.
but I feel like that could become kind of an issue if you're not committing to certain elements as much.
Right.
Like what I was saying
True.
before, you know.
Yeah.
I look at it
Yeah,
like
that's
this is a track you would send someone that you just said, let's do a clap to a writer
Right.
or maybe a vocalist
Right.
and say, let's collaborate on something. Here's a
Yeah,
rough
sure.
sketch, and then the vocal gets on there. There's some ideas of melody or things like that, and then the track comes, and then you start to build a better track, or a more evolved track is maybe the word I want to use there, which now has a melody, a rough vocal. You know, I don't.
Nick
I keep out of the
Landis-
studio, but
Yeah, well,
No, I think that's
don't.
really
I try to
valid.
get my nose in it as much as possible. So Nick and Landis, keep me honest here, but would you say that a singer, a writer that would come in to a session where you hear that, is there enough there for them to be inspired by and write something
Yeah.
incredible
For me,
whatever, or no?
I always try and find like some X factor before even sending it out. So I don't think there's an X factor there that people are gonna be like, wow, that's different, that grabs me.
If
Right.
anything, the first thing that comes to mind for that type of record is like a G House, like a straight up MC jumping on that record.
Oh, yeah.
Like a
I see.
UK style MC could crush
Grind.
that type of thing. Yeah.
Jeez, he'd be out there by himself though. That's the trouble.
Iceman. Iceman is a really dope MC that we got introduced to in Miami because he was MCing with bingo players, doing an incredible job. But his records are amazing, and like him doing something on that would crush, and it would take it to a different place.
right.
But if we were to get that type of record through finishmytrack.com, we would
Oh.
probably make it way more aggressive.
Have we gone that long without
Yeah.
mentioning Finish My Track?
I
Yeah,
mean,
we
you
did-
didn't
we
do
did
it, so
well.
I had to do it, and I never do
Yeah.
it. So,
I appreciate
It
that.
was an hour and 20. It was pretty impressive actually.
That's pretty good.
but no, I would make
yeah,
it.
I'd
I would
agree
make
with
it way more committed to
Committed to something. Theme or
something,
both.
and that something would be more aggressive.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's see how the next Galaxy does. This is called ID, and here we go.
So I think the vocal laugh sample's a little cheesy, and I think that the melody of the synth is not so bad, but the synth itself feels very cheap to me. It feels quite like a basic plug-in that you'd pull up a synth and then you'd be like shooting through all the different presets, and that would be like one of the very first 5 presets that aren't trying to be cool. They're just trying to give you a sound to work on. So from there, you've got an opportunity to build by. I mean, that's a scale. It's a very simple scale. There's nothing super complicated about it. But yeah, you've got a lot of opportunity there to take that melody and put a cooler sound over it.
I like
yeah,
that.
I'd say maybe cut the siren on the drop too. Just focus on that bass and the kick.
Oh yeah,
So
right.
hit a little bit harder. You know.
Yeah. Good point.
Marco in the chat on YouTube asked how can he send his demo. You go to I am Hess on Instagram or dopeornopemusic.com. I am Hess. You have the link in your bio, right?
I think so, but it's dopeornopemusic.com. That'll take you to the forum. That'll take you to the flyers, tell you the next show, and also everybody's socials, so you can tap in while we're doing it. Here's another regular. This is Radio Dave, and this is called Flavor on Dope or Nope.
There's a flavor.
Fucking Dave.
I think
Bringing back the bounce.
The pre-drop hook was fun.
Yeah.
I thought that was really fun. But this saw bass was cool when it landed as well. But the fact that it's incessant and it's not ending, it just feels like it gets tired, a little bit worn out after you've heard it for 4 bars without a
Right.
variation.
You could have shortened that a little bit because this section's kind of interesting. So we go back into. It sounds like he'll probably start over again and wind it up.
He goes halftime. He played this on Finish My Track too, and I gave him some really extensive feedback. But I love that drop.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
drop. I kind of
The
like
drop
how
is
it's headed.
cool, but do you not feel that it's incessant and it tires and it drags?
That's one of the things I mentioned. It needs
Yeah.
a few really special breaks to give it a moment for you to
Right.
miss that
That soul
relentless
bass.
bass line.
Vibe, yeah.
Yeah,
It reminds me of Ode to Oi by TJR, that
Yeah,
classic
for sure.
tune. So it's a good reference track for him to listen to, and you know.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, TJR.
Thanks, guys.
Good choice.
All right, this is
Good riff.
Marco, MRKO, and this is called Brave. You're listening to Dope or Nope Demos. I'm gonna move that up
Please.
a little more.
See if you can find some kicks.
Looking for it. Nope.
Go to the last drop.
This is 3 minutes. Here we go.
Prida.
What was that?
Very
like
Prida.
Prids, yeah.
Yeah.
Very Prid's very
I
Prida.
mean, it's 5:22, so it's, you know.
Yeah. It took. I mean, you could chop out the first 4 minutes if you needed to make an edit. But I wasn't mad at the drop at all. It was kind of nice, and
the payoff was decent.
I was so interested about how the snare or the hi-hat, which one was it? It was really short, like super short. Then like it was purposely like just a little sliver. There was no tail on it at all, which made it feel more kind of urgent, I guess. It's good.
Yeah. That was Marco, MRKO, and that with Brave. I guess we'll do this last one, Nick. What do you think?
Yeah, cool. Let's do it.
All right. Yeah, cool. So this is on Dropbox. Let me move over here. Anything? Here we go. This is called Acceptance. I don't have a name for the artist yet, but hold on, I'll get it. Oh, this is Dormer Music. William. What do you think?
Sounded like the whole thing was a build-up to get to something, and didn't
Yeah, I
quite
thought
get to
something
it.
was coming.
Some
Yeah.
big chords or
Can
something.
you just
Oh, wait.
can you turn it
Hold
up
on.
and scan it in? Maybe this is
Yeah.
it.
Still going up. Hold on. Might as well take it all the way out.
All right. So who is this again?
This is looks like Dormer Music. William-
Dormer Music needs to link with Faja. Faja and Dormer need to work together on this idea and just make it a Speed House record. Can that happen? Can we get there?
We're back to
That'd be tight.
Speedhouse. How did that
Yeah.
happen?
I do
just,
think
like-
those chords are really good. Those big room
I agree.
chords are.
Yeah.
Those feel really good, but the drop feels a little cheesy to me. But that's just not my vibe.
Right. Yeah, it's sort of like was melodic trance there for a second, and then
Yeah. Don't
I mean, it
fade
is,
before
like
the
this
payoff.
section, like these little sections here, right? I mean, that's very like, you know, you're under the stars and you're rolling kind of thing. Not that I know what that means.
All right.
Yeah. First go-to reference.
Just
Wow.
checking with everybody.
Okay.
All right.
Check, check, 1, 2.
Mic check.
Yeah, it was really great. I mean, it took the longest time to get to the payoff. The whole thing felt like it just reminded me of trance music that was 140 beats a minute, fast
Right.
stuff, and then it would finally land into this big epic moment in the. So it felt like it was leading to that, and I didn't mind it. And then when it built, and then I was like, oh, the build's great. And then of course it hit to the drop, and I wasn't about the drop. There was it's just something cheesy about the sound choice of the melody, but the melody was fine. So I wouldn't take too much to make an adjustment to that, and I think it could be really good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think 100%. Like, just waiting for it, and then it sort of arrived, right? I think that's kind of how I felt when that finally hit. I was like, and I've spent a little bit of time with trance,
A little bit.
So, like, when the big monster like drops and the CO2 is released and all the things are
Right.
happening and the flames and
Yeah.
it needs a soundtrack to do that, right? When all the
Right,
guys
right.
push the button and blow about 10 grand up in the air in,
That's
in
true.
pyrotechnics,
In production, yeah.
you need a backdrop for that.
$10,000.
This is a
worth
nice
of
backdrop.
drop.
Speaking of backdrops, I like this.
Have you heard
nice.
this?
No, what is it? That it's gonna
All
get
right.
all of us flagged or what?
Yeah, we're all getting tossed right now. This is the weekend.
Uh-oh.
Thanks so much.
There you go. That's it.
Thanks
Right
for
at
watching.
the end. Well, I figured I'd take it out of here while we get tossed off of every social media platform. This is the weekend. The Ketrandra remix of Out of Time came out today.
Nice.
This is so next level.
Good. Yep. Universal.
Anyone who's
protecting
listening,
it.
pull this one up and save it because you should be. So here we are, another episode of Dope or Nope, another Friday afternoon, hour and 35 minutes. You guys, thank you so much. Lauren, the fact that you're still
Yeah.
awake is fairly impressive.
Impressive.
It's,
He looks
it's
fresh,
literally 4:30.
Oh my God.
4:35 a.m.
AM.
God bless you.
a.m.
And
So,
he's been up
yeah.
all night, and his hair still looks good.
Well,
Just want to say that. Landis, thank you for
Yes.
Thanks, Landis.
for coming by and
Thank you guys for
and-
having me.
and having
Yeah.
your insight. Really appreciate that. Also
course.
really appreciate your academy and helping new and DJs out and giving them sort of a lead into what why their parents keep telling them get a day job.
If you guys are ever in South Florida, or if anyone's ever in South Florida, come stop by. It's called Wired Sound Academy.
There it is. That's
plug it.
Landis,
Gotta
Wired
plug
Sound
it.
Academy. Also, new track out today. What was the title of that one again?
Don't Want to Fall on Hexagon.
Okay, right. On
Nice.
Hexagon,
Congrats, man.
save it,
Thank
share
you.
it with your friends. That's how the algorithm works. Nick Dietrich from the Disco Fries, who's been sitting in that chair now for
Many
4
hours.
4 hours and 35
yeah.
minutes. Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
Actually got
Um,
in the chair at 11:30 a.m. Yeah.
Wow.
Heavy.
Wow.
Impressive. Time
So
to
you
stretch,
guys,
boy.
Yeah, stretch.
thank you again. Lauren, what do you got planned for this weekend?
Sleep.
Well, it's already
Sleep.
weekend for you,
like
so
a madman.
go sleep.
I'm over here to see my dad, my mom, and my grandma. I've seen my grandma in Donnybrook in the farm. Went to see her
How did that go?
already, and that was awesome. It was great. It was really funny. I haven't seen her for 2.5 years, and I walked in. She didn't know I was coming. I thought, and I kind of like walked up from the side of her, and she looked over, and she just took a half a second to look at me. She goes, "Oh, what are you doing here? I thought you were coming. Are you hungry?" And I went, "What?" Like straight to the food, you know.
That's awesome.
It was really surreal, and I was like, "How do you know I was coming?" She said, "Well, didn't you say before Christmas that you were thinking of coming back at Easter?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like,
wow.
She goes, "Yeah." So I've just been expecting that you'll be here anytime, and it's Easter Sunday, so here you are. Just
By the
like I
way-
expected.
Wow.
I have a problem remembering 3 hours ago, let alone
Yeah.
what happened at Christmas.
Yeah, and then
What
she
the-
pulls out this
at
really
97.
cool crossword. Yeah, she pulls out a crossword thing. It's I don't know what it's called, but there's like 8 or 9 letters, and you're meant to try to make different words with it. And she makes a word using all the letters. I mean, come on. I'm not making 9-letter words with a bunch of bundles of anyway. So
Wait,
she's
there's 9-letter
absolutely
words?
in fine form. Yeah,
Right.
she's doing it with 4 syllables. It was really cool to see her. So this weekend,
awesome.
I'm going to be spending time with my mum, which I haven't spent a lot of time with it because I've been down the farm.
Awesome.
So I'm
Well,
excited.
Enjoy
That's
that.
awesome.
Give
Thanks.
everyone our best.
Yeah.
When are you back?
Yeah. Thanks. May 1st. back to
Sweet.
LA 6 p.m. on a Sunday.
Okay. Super
So I'm
cool.
squeezing it right up into the limit. But that also means that I have to get up at crazy hours to fit in with what's going on in America, etc. So my sleeping patterns are not even a thing right now.
Nice. Landis, what do you have for the weekend?
Playing with Cascade tomorrow, actually, at Dare, the Hard Rock. Should be fun.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
amazing.
On support,
Speaking of
yeah,
name
thank you.
dropping, but yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, that's legit.
It's gonna be
That's
wild,
legit.
yeah.
I'll take that. And
That is
what slot do you have?
it's pretty much the only support slot. So 12 to 4, I'll probably play. He'll probably play 4 to 5:30 daytime, and
Oh.
I'll close out. Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, then that means
That's
that
sick.
for the rest of time, you get to say that you were direct support to Cascade.
There we go.
I love it.
Etched
we
in
go.
stone.
Yeah.
Etched in stone, my
That's
man.
That was
awesome,
amazing.
man.
Thank
Nick?
you guys. Yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I'll be in this chair a little bit more. We just dropped our. Some of you guys might know we've been in the Web3 music NFT space for a while now,
yeah.
and
that's
we just did our first pre-sale of our drop next week, and it
great.
launched 2 hours ago on Record Shop, and it's doing really well. I think we've already sold 500 of them in just the
Oh, wonderful.
first few hours. There's only 2,000 of them or so. So yeah, I'll be
That's great.
promoting that a little bit, and I'm a
Yeah.
godfather to my niece, so I gotta
Hey.
jump in there and be the godfather.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just real quick,
That's
what
cool.
is where can people find Record Shop?
I can drop the link in on different platforms, but the easiest way for me to spell it is app.rcrdshp, so just record shop without the vowels.com.
Right.
Right. And assuming you're following all of us or whoever's following who on which platform, we're on so many today, it's hard to tell. But
It's good.
we
It's good
very
problem.
much appreciate everyone joining us today. Don't forget, hug someone you love, tell them how you feel about them, and peace.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
See ya.
I'm gonna raid in somewhere on Twitch,
Oh yeah.
so I'll stay here for a second.
You want to announce that real quick?
Well, yeah, I gotta find somebody. It's cool. I'm going to my buddy, Hey It's Joe, on Twitch.
All right. We're leaving in 3, 2,